Hi, welcome to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl and I'm in charge of the craft kits at the main library. And today's video is to accompany a kit that we'll be giving out starting July 15th, 2024. Now, if you can't make it to the library by that time, or if you're watching this later on their YouTube channel, don't worry, I'll tell you everything you need to purchase to make this project. So what we are making today are these cute little knotwork earrings. Let me make sure you can see what these look like. They look kind of intricate, but they're super duper easy to make. What you'll have in the kit, or what you'll need to purchase if you don't have a kit, are two earring findings. Now this is a post earring with a flat, I believe this is either 6 or 8 millimeter back, or flat piece, and then the backs. You will have some color of polymer clay, and you don't need very much of this. A little bit goes a long way with this project. And you will have a tube of E6000 glue to glue the backs onto the back of the earrings. You will also need a work surface. I'm going to be working on this plastic tub lid, but you can just put out a piece of parchment paper or some aluminum foil, or you can even work on a piece of cardstock. You don't want to allow this to touch your your food surfaces. So I would not suggest a regular plate. You can use a paper plate, not a regular plate. I would suggest keeping them away from any surface that's going to be touching food in the future. All right, so these are pretty darn easy. You'll have to take out your clay. Now, polymer clay is soft at room temperature, and then it hardens up when you bake it. So some colors may be a little harder than others. Some of them are fairly soft to start with, but what you'll do is you'll kind of massage this stuff and squish it. Try not to get any air pockets in it until it gets soft enough to work with and to roll. So what we're going to do to make these fancy knots is we are going to just roll a long skinny piece out. Now, how fat you roll it will affect the size of your final earring. This is a fairly skinny earring, fairly skinny rope, so it's a smaller earring. This is a fatter rope, so it's a bigger earring. You are going to, let's just pinch this. Once I've got it here, let me cut this in half, or pinch it in half, so that I don't use up all my clay on one earring. And I'm just going to roll it and roll it and roll it evenly, so that you don't get a lot of lumps and bumps and stuff. I'm going to make a smaller pair of earrings, so I'm going to do with a fairly skinnier rope. This is probably about 1/8 of an inch in diameter thickness. This one would probably be about 1/4 of an inch fat. And so I'm going to do it this way. Now I'm going to roll the other one out so that I can get them to be about the same thickness. The length really doesn't matter. You're going to be cutting off the extra anyway, but you want them to be about the same thickness, so that they end up about the same size. Okay, so we're ready now to tie the knot. So be very gentle. Form it into a little loop. You don't want the loop to be too small to start with, because you can't just pull these and have them slide tighter like you would on a cord. You have to actually roll them and pull them into, gently coax them into the right shape. Okay. All right, so then I've got the first part of my knot. Now the one that's on top, I'm going to bring it around to the back. So both of these are on the back. I'm going to pinch that together and take off the extra. So now I have this tail thing on the back. I'm going to flatten that. You gently, don't push too hard because you don't want to get fingerprints and other stuff in the clay. But I just needed to form a little flat back so that I could have a place to glue the earring back to. So then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the next rope. Okay, so now I have two of them. They're about the same size. If they wound up wildly different sizes, then what you've done is you've made your two ropes different thicknesses. So you can always go back and fix it. You can always start again up until your time you bake it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to bake this. Now this clay is Sculpey clay, and the instructions on the package say to bake it. Okay, so this one says 275 degrees, 15 minutes per every quarter of an inch. And those things are more than a quarter of an inch. So I would do this for about 25 to 30 minutes, just to make sure it's all completely cured. And what you would bake this on is you can bake it on a cookie sheet, but like as I said, try not to make the clay touch anything that's going to touch food. So what I would do is, if you have a cookie sheet, I would cover it with aluminum foil or parchment paper, or even just a regular sheet of white paper, and bake them. Then take it out, let it cool down completely before you touch it, because when you bring them out, it's going to be hot. I'm going to show you ones that I have made. I made these the other day, and see, these are soft. You can't hear it very much, but these are already baked. Hear the difference? These are solid. I can push these and push these, and they're not gonna be a problem. So I have done that. Now I'm going to glue the pin backs on. I'm going to take the earring backs off here. Now you are going to have to remember the part we flattened back. You're going to have to glue it there. If you have one that sits flat, that's fine. If you have one that's kind of tilted, you may want to sit it on some cotton or something where it's going to make it level, because we're going to have to glue this. It's going to have to sit on there until the glue sets, and this glue might take a little while to set. So this is E6000 glue. It's a good all-purpose heavy-duty glue. For these small tubes, there is a puncture thing in the back of the lid. So you would unscrew the lid, turn it around, and puncture the seal, because they come sealed, so the glue doesn't dry out. This one has already been opened and punctured, so I'm just going to put a glob on there and set it right down on my little flat spot. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. There we go. And make sure you completely close the lid when this is not in use to keep it from drying out. All right, so I am actually just going to let this dry for at least a few hours so that it sets up. It actually says 24 hours complete curing time. It will dry enough to pick them up within a few hours, and I would actually leave them until tomorrow before I put the pressure on them of actually putting them in my ears. And that's it. So you will end up with something that looks like this, that can be just popped on and worn as an earring. Now you can also maybe make a matching necklace or pin. They sell pin bails or pin backs that look like this, that, let's say you made a bigger one and you cooked it, you could glue it on a pin back. They sell flat bails, bezels, flat round bezels for pendants that you can make an even bigger one of these and glue it on to one of those, and you can make a whole matching set. Now, you'll only have enough clay probably to make, you'll definitely have enough to make a pair of earrings. You might have enough left to make a pin. But these are standard colors. These are Sculpey. This is Sculpey 3 clay. And these are just standard colors of Sculpey clay. So you'll be able to find a very similar color at the craft store if you want to, say, make a whole matching set. Okay, and that's it. So thank you for viewing another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl. I'll see you next time. Bye.